Hi students, this is KTK. For the new subscribers, let me introduce our channel. In our channel, we are going to solve mathematical problems lively which are prepared from outside of your textbook. I am sure that all these problems will be helpful to you while preparing for competitive Olympiad exams for the classes 6 to 10. If you are thorough with particular concept, you can pause the video and solve, play it and check your answer. We'll start our class now. We'll start with our first question. A collection of information in the form of numerical figures is called. Your options are data, array, mean, range. We know very well that the given question is the definition of our topic, data. Data is a collection of information in the form of numerical figures. Therefore, the answer for first question is data. Since this is the part 1 video of data handling, we'll revise few basic questions in the beginning. Later we'll move on to few moderate level questions. Question number 2. Information is collected and presented randomly is called. Your options are raw data, array, mean, range. That is, they are giving the information which is collected randomly. Okay, so it's called as what? Raw data. Whatever the data which we are collecting in the beginning, there will not be any customizations or categorizations. These kind of data are called as raw data. So question number 3. The difference between the highest and lowest values of observations in your data is called. I hope you know the answer very well without the options because it's a very important questions. Raw data, array, mean, range. The difference between the highest and lowest values of the observation is called as what? The answer is option D, range. We'll move on to the next question. Question number 4. An arrangement of the numerical figures of a data in ascending or descending order is called. That is, after collecting the data, the numerical figures will be arranged either in ascending order or descending order. That argument, that is that arrangement is called as what? Answer is array. So array is nothing but an arrangement of numerical figures in ascending or descending order. Next question. Question number 5. The number of times an observation is repeated is called. The number of times an observation is repeated is called. Your options are frequency, range, data, array data. Have you identified the answer? The number of times an observation is repeated is called. See children, when you are listening this video, without skipping you should watch the video fully from the beginning to till end. But whenever the question appears, you can pause the video, identify the answer by yourself, and then you can check the answer by resuming the video. Okay, so question number 5, the answer is frequency. We know frequency is nothing but the number of times and particular observation is repeated. Then question number 6, primary data is collected by. So we know many data types are there. What is meant by primary data? Here option A, some unpublished data. Option B, investigator himself. Option C, newspaper agency. Option D, some friends. So primary data is nothing but whatever the data which we are collecting directly. For example, if you are a class leader, means you have to collect mark statement from all the children, or if you are collecting how many days your friends came in that particular week, or how many days they were present in a particular month. If you are collecting these data from your classmates, means you are only collecting directly from your classmates. So whatever the data which we are collecting directly, if for an example, if your teacher is giving an assignment like collect ages of your family members or collect height and weight from your family members, means that you are going to go personally meet your family members, then collect the data. So whatever the data which we are collecting by personal are called as primary data. So primary data is nothing but what? Investigator himself. So we are collecting the data by ourselves directly by meeting the people. So primary data, I hope you understood the concept. We'll move to the next question. Question number 7. A pictogram consists of appropriate symbols, appropriate pictures, both A and B, none of this. So we know very well that in pictograph we can use both symbols as well as pictures also. So answer is option C, both A and B. So question number 8. Representing some data with the help of bars or rectangles in diagram is called. It's a very simplest question. Without options also you can be able to find, but here the options are given as bar graph, bar diagram, pictogram, both A and B. So here also again you have both A and B, because representing some data with the help of rectangles is known as bar graph as well as bar diagram. So your option will be option D, both A and B. Question number 9. It's a statement type of question. Statement 1. If star represent 10 stars, then 2 stars represent 2 into 10. So 1 star represent 10 means 2 stars will represent 2 into 10. So we need to multiply only. So statement 1 is correct. What about statement 2? The representation of an information through pictures is called pictograph. Absolutely true. Therefore, your answer for question number 9 is both the statements are correct. We will move to the next question. Now question number 10, it's a statement type of question. Statement 1 states that if in constructing a pictograph, this O represents 5 rings, then 5 such figures represents 36. So one symbol represents 5 means 5 will refers to what? 5 5s are 25, but they gave 36. So statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2 states that bar graphs consist of bars, all of them are in different width. This is also false only, because we know the main condition of bar graph is all the bars should have same width. So in this sum both the statements are wrong. So your options B is your correct answer. So read the statements properly and then find your answer. We'll move to the next question. Question number 11. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of the numerical data by a number of rectangles. Here the length of rectangle changes, that is they gave the conditions of a bar graph. The length of rectangle changes, the width of rectangle changes, the distance between two consecutive rectangles change, area of each rectangle remains constant. So among all these you are going to identify which statement is true. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of the numerical data by a number of rectangles. So in this case you just think the length of rectangle change, because based upon the frequency the length of rectangle may change. So option A is correct one. And then what about option B? Option B, the width of rectangle change. The width of rectangle definitely should not change in bar graph. Then the distance between two consecutive rectangles change. Here also all the rectangles will have a constant distance only. They don't have different distances between the rectangles. Area of each rectangle remain constant. That's they are saying area of each rectangle will be same. Definitely it's not going to be same, because when the length changes area also will get changed. Therefore among all these 4 options, option A is your correct answer. Question number 12. The arithmetic mean of first 5 natural number is. Your options are 2, 3, 4, 5. We know how to find the mean. Mean is nothing but sum of observations divided by number of observations. Here they mentioned first 5 natural number. So we are going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. So add all the first 5 natural numbers divided by 5. Why we are writing 5 in the denominator? Because 5 observations are there. So when you are adding the numerator you will get 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Therefore answer for your 12th question is option B, 3. So whenever they are mentioning first 5 or first 10 numbers, we are going to just add the numbers divided by number of observations. You can find the answer. Now question number 13. The arithmetic mean of first 5 whole numbers. So this is exactly same as your 12th question. The only difference is here they gave whole number. So whole number means what? We know that whole number starts from 0 onwards. Very good. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 5. So imagine when whole numbers are given to you, I am starting the numbers with 0. Therefore you should not write till 5. You should write only till 4 only. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 5. When I am adding the numerator you will get 10. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. Therefore answer for your 13th question is 2. We will move to 14th one. If a clock represents 75. Oh, it's not a clock, it's a watch it seems. If one watch represents 75 watches, then 4 watches will represent. It's a very simple question based upon pictograph. So one picture represents 75 watches means then how many watches will be represented by 4 symbols. So just multiply 75 into 4. I hope you found the answer already. 75 into 4 is what? 300. Option B is 300. Next question number 15. If one symbol represents 5 balloons, so it's a balloon symbol. If one symbol represents 5 balloons, then the number of symbols to be drawn to represent 80 balloons. So here they gave frequency now. How many symbols are needed now? So it's the question is reversed. So 80 balloons can be represented by how many symbols? We'll check the options: 20, 18, 16, 15. So in this case we are going to identify how many 5s are 80. How many 5s are 80? Answer is option 16. C, option C, 16. 16 5s are 80. So both 14th and 15th question are based upon pictograph, but 14th one is a direct question, so that we multiplied. 15th question is indirect. They gave the frequency, they are asking us to find the symbol, how many symbols. So in question number 15 we did division. So I understand the difference between 14th and 15th question. We'll move on to next one, question number 16. If 6 symbols stands for 42, then 2 symbols will stand for. So again it's a pictograph question. Your options are 16, 21, 14 and 12. So try to identify the answer. 6 symbols. 6 symbols stands for 42. So 6 symbols stands for 42 means what about one symbol? It's just a divide. 6 symbols stands for 42, then one symbol will be 7. Very good. So one symbol 7 means what about 2 symbols? It's nothing but what? 14. It's a very easy one. Question number 17. The following is a list of size of shoes of 8 students of class 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 6 and 4. So they gave shoes size of 8 students. If the shoe size less than 5 is observed for girls, how many girls are in the list? It's a very simple question. They gave a data. From the data we are going to analyze and find the answer. If the shoe size less than 5 is observed for girls, so how many numbers are less than 5? It's very easy. You are just going to count how many numbers are less than 5 here. Here how many numbers are less than 5? You have 1 4, again you have 1 4, and here also again you have 1 4. Therefore how many numbers are there? 3 numbers. So question number 17, option is option A, 3. It's a very simple question they gave. Question number 18. In a survey of 10 families, each family is found to have the following number of children: 1 2 3 2 3 3 1 2 1 and 2. Number of families with 3 children is equal to the number of families with. So number of families with 3 children. So first find how many families have 3 children. How many families have 3 children? 1 2 3. So 3 families have 3 children. Next one they are asking which is equal to. Which is equal to. So here you just count how many families have one child. 1 2 3. So number of families which has one child also 3 only. Okay, you can count how many families have 2 kids. 1 2 3 4. So here number of families with 3 children is equal to number of families with one child, because when analyzing the given data we found there are 4 families which has 2 children. Therefore 3 families which has both equal number of children, that is 3 children family also 3, 1 child family also 3. Therefore question 18th answer is option A, 1 child. Question number 19. 19 is based upon this tabular column. 4 classes 6A, 6B, 6C and 6D inflated balloons to decorate the school. So 4 sections of 6th standard involved in the decoration of school with the balloons. The table shows the number of balloons each class are inflated. The information for class 6D was missing. Yes, in tabular column they gave only 3 class balloons. 6A contributed 20, 6B 30, 6C 40, 6D nothing is given. So we'll read the question further. Class 6D inflated 3 more balloons than the average number of balloons that the 3 classes inflated. the number of balloons inflated are in whole numbers. How many balloons did the 4 classes inflate altogether? So options are given there. So the only clue which they gave to find 6D balloons is 6D balloons is 3 more than average of 3 classes. 3 more than average of 3 classes. So first we need to identify the average of first 3 classes, that is 20, 30, 40 divided by 3. So we know how to find average. Average is nothing but what? Mean. So 20, 30, 40 divided by 3. So add and divide by 3, what you are getting? 90. 90 by 3 is 30. So average of first 3 classes is 30, and the clue they gave is 3 more than this 30. So 30 plus 3 is what? 33. Now the question is they are asking how many balloons did the 4 classes inflate all together. So total we need to find. If we need to find total means we need to identify 60 also. That's the purpose we are finding 60 number of balloons. So 6A 20, 6B 30, 6C 40, 6D becomes 33. So 30 is the average. 3 more balloons they gave, therefore 33. Now find the total of these 4 classes balloons. So what is the total? I hope you got the answer now. 123 balloons. So for the question number 19, your answer is option C, 123 balloons. I hope you understand this question properly. We'll move to the next question. Question number 20. This is based upon a bar graph, it seems. The bar graph shows number of students studying in a primary school. Find the total number of students. So here 6 classes are given. All these red bars are representing the total number of students studying in the respective class. Okay, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go through the options there. 770, 795, 855, 870. So here we need to find how many students are studying in each class first. Okay, based upon the bar diagram they gave, we need to identify how many students are studying in each class. So first class, that is class 1. You check the bar graph, it lies exactly between 140 and 150. Okay, you just go through the axis properly. 0, 50, 100, 150, 200. Therefore each line represents 10, 10. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and so on. So each line represents 10 means if the bar graph stands in the middle, it represents what? 5. Okay, you just check the class 1 bar, it stops between 140 and 150. Therefore class 1 is 145. Then class 2 check, it lies between 100 and 110, so it becomes 105. Class 3 exactly lies in here, it have 150, so 160, and the next line is 170. So you have to check the bars properly and identify the strength of each class, and then we can find the total. So class 4 is 150, class 5 is 95, it's 100 below 5, so 95. Class 6 is you have 190. So I gave you all the class strength individually there. Okay, just you are going to add all the numbers. This time for question number 20, I am not going to give you the answer. If you are watching the video fully from the first question, means you need to comment the answer of 20th question in the comment box. Okay, so that's it for today, children. Since this is part 1 video, I have revised a few basic sums along with pictograph, bar graph. In next video we will learn more questions on bar graph as well as pictograph. Thank you for watching, children. If you like this video, share it with your classmates. Check how many marks they got out of 20. Okay,